is to put up cameras that take the shots at night of the coyotes or any fox, whatever it may be, coming through the park. The cameras would be placed so we're able to see where they're running, if they're running, and what time they're running. And so, you can set traps anywhere, but these cameras will give us the opportunity to identify the actual areas that they may or may not be. They talk about the hazing program. Part of the hazing program is even just human scent. So quite often, if there is enough human scent that's around, the average coyote will stay away from it. But part of the problem that we have is that the human scent is where they are. So they're living on residence properties of people that live near these parks. So these coyotes have this almost free run. There's obviously some intricacies also. And so I know that there has to be a trapping permit issued by the DEC. So obviously the Village of Rybrook has that. But because it's going to be on another municipality property, which is really Crawford Park, which is the town of Rye, is this Bishop, I don't know if you know this answer, is this a permit that the town of Rye needs to have? And if we're going to be working underneath someone else's permit, the DEC permit and not so much for a person, because the permit is for the municipality and not for the trapper.
Right.
Can we get a letter from the DEC?
Well, the discussion that we had, and again, there was the supervisor and Chris Bradbury, the village manager of Rybrook. They have a DEC license for trapping, and that covers the entire scope of the village of Rybrook. Now, Crawford Park is within the village, and the discussion that we had was all that would be needed would be a letter from the town council indicating that they were giving permission for Rybrook to extend its trapping into Crawford Park. Again, we are 100% within the confines of the village, and this would then allow them to perhaps place one or two traps in certain areas in Crawford Park and extend that to that area. We did not get into the discussion of whether we needed additional authorization. The feeling was that the Village of Rybrook had the license. It covered the entire physical area, and Crawford Park was within the area.
All right, well, I'm for it. I think it's important. The one thing that I'd like to have, though, maybe if Town Attorney Noda can help us, or if you can make this happen, just want to confirm with the DEC. Obviously, I don't want to enter into an agreement using a state license and just say, okay, well, we're on board without having permit. If we have permission from the DEC to use that license, I think that would be acting in a...
But is Rybrook getting a license?
Rybrook has the license already. They've had it for a couple of weeks now.
Well, I suspect it applies to any property within the village of Rybrook, which includes Crawford Park. Technically, we're in the village of Rybrook.
That's the position that the village manager took.
But it says here that they're still working on this program, and they might alter some of the goals, methods, and procedures of the Rybrook program.
So I agree. And there's a lot that's still up in the air. I think I would like to have a little bit of information, more information. And we don't have to wait to have a meeting. I think that this is, we could be flexible enough. It's a nominal fee if we're going to enter into this. Within the next couple days, if we can find this out, I guess we can reach out to the council members just to weigh in.
We should be able to get you an answer tomorrow.
That's great. That being said, I also have this gentleman that, free of charge, I'll have him contact Bishop to set up these cameras. They're strategic night cameras at no cost to us, really just to identify whether or not there is activity in the park. Does that sound like a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, has anybody around the park complained?
There have been, if you go on the Village of Rybrook website, they have an actual map and what amounts to a pin map of all the sightings that have been reported to the Rybrook Police Department. There are 2 sightings that are near Crawford Park. There's actually not been a sighting physically in the park, but 2 sightings, which is why they're trapping. For example, they put 1 or 2 traps in Rye Hills Park, which is immediately adjacent to Crawford Park. If you look at that website, you will see that the majority of sightings are further north in that area that they call the basin, where they just put in quite a bit of work and took out quite a bit of forestry and trees to put their holding pond.
Was there a time limit proposed for the cameras?
No, he'll put them in for a month, and if there's anything that he finds on them, he'll report back to us. And at that point, I think it gives us the opportunity to find out actually what's happening. You know, is Crawford Park in play? And if there's activity there, then we definitely need to act. Wow, this is
Yeah,
quiet.
my only concern.
Thinking about it.
Right.
because
My only
I can
concern
see a coyote
is-
going through Crawford Park in the dark because it's a
So-
big park and it's nighttime.
Right, so I could too, and that's the reason
But,
why I think that
you
the
know,
opportunity to
I also
have.
don't want the poor thing to, just because he happened to walk through the park one day.
Well,
I have coyotes
yeah.
walk literally down at the end of my street.
Well, obviously, part of the problem, the reason why this is happening, is because they're not in a position. We're not in a position to make a decision to take on a vendor. We have a small park that happens to lie in Rybrook, and
Well, why don't we find out the information and we can get it via email or whatever, and then we could think about it a little.
make a decision
Right.
with
Yeah.
both aspects,
Right.
both the cameras and both the Hazel
Yeah.
and Rybrook.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that sound good, Bob?
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Next item is resolution. This is letter C. And this is for the open position on the Board of Assessment Review. Hope?
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
So we should
Here.
Mitchell? No, you just asked me for it, that's okay.
You rewriting it?
Resolved that Dr. Januz Richards, residing at 10 Kings Park Drive, Portchester, New York, be, and he hereby is appointed a member of the Town of Rye Board of Assessment Review to fill the unexpired term of John Branca, recently resigned, for a term effective immediately and expiring September 30th, 2011, subject to approval of the New York State Office of Real Property Services and the satisfactory completion of any training requirements at an annual compensation of $2,000. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall cause the said Dr. Januz Richards to take and file the necessary oath of office forthwith.
Very good
I
discussion.
have a question. Yeah. How did this come from somebody from Portchester? Which appointment is this? Portchester?
Portchester.
John Branca was.
Did they approve this appointment?
We send it to them,
Right.
then they approve it back to us.
Okay, because who decided upon this gentleman? Because this is a chiropractor. I would think that we have so many people in the community that have knowledge in real estate, appraisals, and that sort of thing. And I read his resume. I don't really recall seeing any of that in there.
Well, he's been very, very active in community affairs. He's done a lot with the community. He is an experienced and dedicated chiropractor. He's been involved in government, both at the political level and at the government services area. And I think realistically there's no requirement or no real need that someone must be in the real estate appraisal field or
No,
be
I
in
don't think it
finance.
has to be that as a need, but I just think I would see that as a benefit, an added benefit, if someone had some knowledge of what they're reviewing.
No, I agree, but there is a training program. He will take the training program offered by the State Office of Real Property Services, and it's really a grassroots level job, a grassroots level appointment, and any dedicated, conscientious person who's willing to serve the public and has a track record of hard work and dedication, in my view, really is qualified to undertake the job of working on the Board of Assessment Review.
Okay.
Any additional comment?
No.
With regards to this motion and this resolution, this gentleman here, Dr. Richards, will fill the unexpired term of John Branca, who was also a layman And I do know that Januz Richards is obviously involved in the community, served on several commissions in Portchester, zoning and things of that nature. So I think that there probably is enough background